Alright, it's everybody's favorite time of the week. It's fight week, so you already know what that means. It means it's another video from Remy where I gotta reluctantly give his picks and predictions on who's going to win these fights tomorrow night, because I'm going to keep it 100. The whole entire card is dark. I mean, virtually every single fight on this card is a 50-50 fight. Nobody's safe. No picks is safe. If you're a betting person, I feel bad for them pockets because it might be hurting tomorrow. But let's not waste any more time. We have a lot that we have to get into. So without further ado, let's just hop right into it. All right. So we're going to start off with something simple, right? We got Joshua Buatsi versus Callum Smith. Now, I'm going to be 100 with you here. I don't really know much about either fighter, right? I do know Callum Smith. He's more of a power puncher, or I do know he has some sort of power. I know he's a more taller fighter. He's a more rangier fighter. I think on copy box he throws a ton of jabs. So I know he's a fighter who uses pause. He uses his length. Pause. Versus Joshua Buatsi. Again, I don't really know too much about either fighter. So if I had to make a pick, because I know a little bit more of Buatsi because I've seen his fights. I've seen his past 2 fights. I would probably lean him towards a decision only because I've seen his fights and I don't really know too much about Callum Smith. So again, I'm picking stupidly here, but if I had to make a pick, because this is a prediction video, I would go with Joshua Buatsi by AUD. Zhang versus Agit Kabayel. Now, I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys here, right? I got this 50-50 or 60-40 Kabayel, and I'm going to explain why. Kabayel, he is a mixture of the size that'll give a big fighter like Zhang issues, because let's be real here. Zhang is a big guy, but not only is he a big guy, he is a big, slow guy, if that makes sense, right? So his thing is power. Chinese power, big bang Zhang, you know, like his thing is power. The reason why I feel like Kabayel can really get him is because Zhang doesn't really throw a lot of punches. Zhang has a very low output. And Kabayel, I know he is a consistent worker. Right, he is a consistent worker. I've seen him fight. I saw him fight Frank Sanchez. He is consistent, and I feel like that consistency could catch up to Zhang, because I watched Zhang's fight versus Parker, and I seen how Parker was able to outwork Zhang and how he was able to outbox him. And then I seen parts of his fight versus Herkovich. He just seemed like a fighter that can get easily outworked. The only thing about Zhang is he has very low output. However, when he hits you, he hits you. He hurts you. Look at Parker, JP, who's also on this card, which we gonna get into that because he's not fighting Bakole. That's gonna be a crazy fight. But even in his fight versus Parker was catching him and was outworking him. But he even got dropped twice in that fight. And then he even suffered a broken nose in that fight. So either way it goes, Kabayel could definitely outwork Zhang. But I definitely don't think Kabayel is going out of that fight unscathed. I think he's going to leave out with something. I think Zhang going to leave out with something. If he loses that fight, he leaving with something. So I would go with Kabayel. I think this is also a fight that leans the cards well. I don't know if Kabayel will stop Zhang. It would definitely be huge if he stopped Zhang for sure, but I would go with a safe bet here, and I would say Kabayel on the cards. This is where it gets dark. Alright, so we got Vergil Ortiz versus Israil Madrimov. I'm going to keep it 100 with you here. And this is my assessment of the fight. First off, I got Vergil Ortiz by stoppage. I know that sounds crazy to some of you, because I know some people out there are voting for Madrimov. Here's my thing though, right? I believe a lot of y'all are sleeping on Vergil Ortiz, and a lot of y'all are praising Madrimov a little too much. I believe this is a fight where Madrimov has to show us that he is who we think he is, because again, everybody is riding off of the fight versus Terrence Crawford because he gave Bud a good fight or whatever. I think this matchup is totally different from Terrence Crawford. One, Terrence Crawford was naturally the smaller guy in that fight, and you've seen it. If you look at the body composition between Madrimov and Terrence Crawford, it was clear as day that Terrence Crawford was significantly smaller than Madrimov. That won't be the case when he's fighting Vergil Ortiz. Now, you can say Terrence Crawford is a better technical fighter than Ortiz. I will agree with you 100%. But from a technicality standpoint, Vergil Ortiz is not that bad of a boxer. He has pretty okay defense, right? He has a pretty solid jab. Of course, I believe Madrimov has a very good jab, maybe even a elite jab. But I believe y'all are sleeping on Vergil Ortiz a little bit too much. And then you gotta also factor in this. The power of Vergil Ortiz at this weight class, because of course Terrence Crawford can still punch. He's a really good puncher, but at this weight class of 154, Vergil Ortiz being a natural 154 pounder, he is a harder puncher than Terrence Crawford. And I feel like y'all are sleeping on Ortiz because of his fight versus Boachuk, where he got dropped. I believe he got dropped twice. I know he got dropped once for sure, but I believe he got dropped twice in that fight, right? Y'all look at that, and I do think y'all are sleeping on him because of how he looked versus Boachuk, not understanding that it's Boachuk. It's Boachuk. Boachuk do not care, bro. You can throw the kitchen sink at him. You seen how that fight went. Vergil Ortiz was hitting him with the kitchen sink with pots and pans. Like he was throwing the whole kitchen at him. And he still couldn't get Boachuk. Like, bro, Boachuk is a real tough dude, bro. Look at what he did to his last opponent, because Madrimov was supposed to have fought Boachuk last time out, and I believe he got injured or he got sick or something, and that fight was off. Look at what he did to his last opponent. Boachuk is a real tough dude, bro. I think y'all are sleeping on Ortiz for sure. And I got Ortiz stopping Israil Madrimov come tomorrow night, February 22nd. Mark my words. Now, Carlos Adames versus Hamzah Sheeraz. Now, I got a little bit of a curveball for y'all. Just a little bit of a curveball, right? I got Adames beating Hamzah. I got Adames in this fight. Not only do I have Adames, I think Adames can potentially stop Hamzah. Why do I have Adames beating Hamzah? I know everybody's high on Hamzah. I know Hamzah, he's pretty tall for his weight class. I will say that. He is a very sharp fighter. Why do I think he... So I was looking at the fight, right? I was looking at his fight versus Ammo Williams, and I seen how Ammo caught him and hurt him in the second round. Now, of course, you can't really go off a whole lot with that, but I just believe that Adames is just a better boxer than Ammo Williams. I think he's a better boxer. I believe he is a harder puncher than Ammo, and he is a switch hitter. Carlos Adames is ambidextrous. If y'all don't know, he's a like how he can switch between southpaw and how he switches stances. That's how he plays in every other sport. I believe in baseball, he could throw a pitch with his left hand and his right hand. So he is a natural left and right fighter. So I believe he can give Hamzah different looks between southpaw and orthodox. But I do believe, especially in southpaw, he is his most dangerous. And the reason why I say that is because for Hamzah to be so tall, right? And I looked at when Ammo Williams caught Hamzah. For Hamzah to be so tall, I believe there is a hole in where you can catch him. I definitely do think you could probably hit him in the body, but when Emma Williams caught Hamzah in that second round, I believe there may be opportunities in the fight like that for Adames, because again, Adames hits hard. Adames hits real hard, bruh. So I believe there will be times in the fight where that can happen, because Hamzah, for him to be so tall, he has a real bad problem where if you feint him, he can drop his hand, especially that lead hand, and that's how he got caught against. He have a real bad tendency to drop his hands, and I think that will give Adames the perfect opportunity to land something big. Now the question is, when Carlos Adames do land something big, can Hamzah snap back and bounce back the same way how he did versus Emma Williams? Or, in my opinion, which I believe might end up happening, is can Carlos Adames stop Hamzah? And if Adames have you hurt, Adames is going for it. And like I said, he stopped some pretty sturdy guys. I know he stopped the guy that Charlo had a tough fight with. He stopped J-Rock, which J-Rock was a good fight, but Adames did show, like, in spurts he was a little bit too strong for J-Rock. And then I believe he also stopped Derevchenko, if I'm not mistaken, which we all know that's a really sturdy guy. So the dude definitely has power, man, and I don't know, but I definitely do think he could potentially stop Hamzah. But that's my pick anyway. Listen, don't take any of my picks serious, because again, no pick is safe, but these are my picks. Shakur Stevenson, which is supposed to have been Floyd Schofield, but now it is Shakur Stevenson, and I think his name is Padley. I'm not going to really go deep in this fight. I have Shakur Stevenson, hopefully by stoppage, but I'm really nervous about Shakur's hands. Like, I know he's coming off of a surgery, and I really don't know how his hands will hold up. That's my biggest fear. If he looks like he's healthy and he's good to go, then I have Shakur, and maybe even by stoppage. But I will not bet on the stoppage. I would definitely bet on Shakur going the full distance. Joesph Parker, which should have been or would have been Daniel Dubois, but we get Joesph Parker versus Martin Bakole. Oh my God, I can't. This might be fight of the night, low key, bro. This might be fight. Yo, that's tough. That is so tough. Of course, we all know what Martin Bakole did to Jared Anderson, but man, people in the streets is calling him George Foreman 2.0, and hey, he is living up to that name, because man, he hits hard. Joesph Parker would have to get in his bag on this one. He would have to use his craftiness, but it's like, man, that's a real tough fight, bro. Dang, and I don't want to go for Bakole, because it's like, me, in my opinion, I want Joesph Parker to win. I do. I want him to win. You know, he's on a good streak. He beat Wilder. He beat Zhang. Like, he's been doing good. You know, I had the Daniel Dubois fight, a 50-50 fight. I definitely did see ways of how Parker could beat Daniel Dubois, but man, like, the Bakole fight is a different beast, and to take that fight on a 2-day notice, and the fact that Turki Al-Sheikh made that fight on a 2-day notice is crazy. Man, you know what? Because I want to see him win, I'm going with Joesph Parker, bro. I'll go with Joesph Parker, but man, that's a tough one. That's gonna be a fight. That might be fight of the night. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That's a tough fight. And I also did see that whoever wins this fight, they become the mandatory for the WBO belt. So whoever wins this fight, they'll fight Usyk, basically. I gotta go JP, man. I know everybody's going Bakole, but I would really love for JP to win. That would be an amazing story. That would be an amazing win, period. To beat somebody like Bakole on a 2-day notice. Like, your whole game plan gotta change, bro. I don't know how they gonna do it, but I would love to see him win. F it, I'm going JP. I don't know if he gonna stop Bakole. If he stop Bakole, even better, but I will go JP on the cards. But man, that's a tough one. And then it gets even tougher because now we got Beterbiev versus Bivol. I actually thought Bivol won the first fight. I'm not gonna lie. The first fight was really good. I thought Bivol boxed well. He actually had Beterbiev's respect more than I thought he did, and that was the biggest question. Like, you know, can he get his respect? Because Beterbiev, if he don't respect you, he gonna run through you. And he definitely had his respect. And it was those sharp counters. Like, Beterbiev, he couldn't close in on Bivol because Bivol was so sharp in that fight. I think what turned the fight for Bivol was when Beterbiev started to up the pace a bit. And instead of Bivol kind of, you know, stepping back and countering Beterbiev to keep him honest, he started to kind of, I don't want to say it like this, but he started to run away. And I think that is what gave up the fight, especially in a close fight like that. I think that is what convinced the judges to give the fight to Beterbiev instead of Bivol. I do believe if Bivol clean that up this time around, I do definitely think he will beat Beterbiev this time around. But man, this was a really good fight the first time around, and I want to see how this looked this time around. But I went Bivol last time. I'm going Bivol again this time. So that's my picks. I'm going Bivol on the cards. I had Bivol on the cards the first fight, and I'm not gonna go away from that. I'm gonna still stay with Dmitri Bivol going on the cards again. Hopefully he gets the nod in this fight, but I got Bivol beating Beterbiev this time around. And who knows, if he beats Beterbiev, they might even do a third fight. And then if they do a third fight, that's definitely going to be a 50-50 fight at that point. Like, that will conclude today's video. Hey, listen, let me know y'all thoughts and opinions about my picks. And who do you guys have on the Bivol Beterbiev 2 card? Because, like I said, every fight on this card is a 50-50. I know I had some curveball picks in there. But like I said, no fight is safe. No fight is safe. I'm going to go and buy the card. I think this is worth every dollar. And I think the card is only like $25, $26. So if you are here in the States, please go and buy the card and enjoy the whole entire card. Please do, because listen, this card right here is must-see TV. Even with the late replacement that they have on this card, I think the card is still worth every single penny. And I can't wait for Saturday night. And on that note, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and comment down below, like I said, y'all picks for Saturday night. And if you are new, make sure you hit that red button that says subscribe and click that bell. And make sure that bell is turned on to all so you don't miss out on any future uploads. And like always, just your boy, Remy. And I love you guys. And I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.